They come to LeBron now. Stolen by VanVleet. And LeBron found him. He stepped inside of LeBron and stole the inbounds.
Red VanVleet with a little defense to help the Rockets stay the 2 seed in the Western Conference. A 119-115 win over a Lakers team that does at least have a good record with LeBron actually on the court. Jalen Green had a sort of efficient 33, which is nice to see considering the Rockets had to play without Jabari Smith Jr. We saw Steven Adams in extended minutes. He actually looked very good. But the guy who looked the best and the guy that I am now convinced is the piece on which we will build. The rock with which Ime Udoka will take the Rockets to the promised land. It is Amen Thompson. I am declaring it today, January 6th, 2025. Amen Thompson, 41 minutes, 23 and 16. It was an amazing performance.
I'm with you, man. I hate to just agree with you. I wish we got some kind of debate here about this, but I'm totally with you. Even if the jump shot never comes along, he doesn't need it. He impacts the game in such a dynamic way, like on the glass, attacking the rim, defensively. It's a really a athletic version of Draymond Green, kind of, I would say, where like he can do everything you need for the Houston Rockets on a night in, night out basis. I just love watching him play basketball. Like just the way he does it is such a fun. Maybe it's just because it's so different than what we're used to now in the NBA. Like maybe that's part of it.
This is why I like him. I just think he embodies what Udoka's trying to do.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the nonstop effort. It's the athleticism that he has. It's this idea that Udoka looks at Amen Thompson and says, if he ever gives up a basket, I'm pissed. There's a high standard that he holds him to because he knows that he does everything he wants. And as you said, we'll see if things develop from a shooting perspective. But the athleticism is really something else. It shouldn't be that hard to add something else to the equation, right? If you're that athletic.
No, and the jump shot's been okay in the corner. He's hit corner threes this year. If he can at least do that, so that way teams can't treat him like they treat Russell Westbrook, to where they can play, 5-6 feet off of him and eliminate some of his athleticism. If his 3-point shot and a mid-range shot is at least a threat to his game, then the sky is the limit for how good he can be.
And he's the type of person and the type of player that you expect that he will work on this stuff and will get better. I mean, even him being better at corner threes, like that is a step up from where he was coming out of the draft, and we're in January of year 2, and we already feel good about the catch and shoot, one aspect of the shooting. So yeah, if he does become the Rockets' best player, the Rockets' most important player, he will have to have a little bit more. But yeah, I think right now, like he's kind of like prime Ben Simmons if he had that dog in him. Like that is like he is like Ben Simmons if Ben Simmons wasn't a complete bitch.
We did once look at Ben Simmons as an all-time prospect.
He made 3 NBA All-Star teams,
right?
Yeah.
And never shot a jump shot outside the paint. Like that's how good he was.
He was good, but as you said, he was a bit of a bitch.
Yeah, but I think he can add a little bit more. Maybe he's like, I don't know, tiny Giannis or smaller Giannis. He's not tiny, but he's like, Giannis that's like 4 inches shorter than actual Giannis. Maybe when he gets these kind of big minute games, I do sit there for a lot of it and just think like, is he giant Russell Westbrook? Like he's such a weird combination of skills, but all the players they bring up, they have one thing in common, that they're insane athletes, and he is like a one-of-one athlete on the court.
It really is insane how athletic he is. Got rave reviews after the game. I don't think Ime Udoka hands out compliments like this easily, though he did at one point say that Tari Eason reminds him of Kawhi Leonard. But this is Ime Udoka talking about Amen Thompson's 23 and 16 performance last night.
Having our man back, what did he change as far as the offense and the defense was concerned?
Everything. I mean, it's evident. The pace he plays with, attacking downhill, touching the paint and getting easy stuff for everybody else besides the defense, of course. And luxury to have him and Dylan out there starting on those two. And yeah, it was obviously pretty apparent and evident right from the start. I think he scored our first 6 or 8 points, and getting downhill, getting to the basket, even when they're trying to sag back off him, it's tough when guys attacking you and kind of eating up that space.
I mean, this is the kind of game where like he puts himself in the starting lineup permanently. Like no matter
I hope so.
the injuries, like when Tari Easton and these guys are coming back, like this is someone that should be in your starting group permanently for the rest of his career. Amen Thompson is your starting guard.
I hope so. We'll see, because I mean, it is
It's
tricky.
Ime. Yeah.
You do have the veteran in Van Vliet. You do have Jalen Green out there, and Green did have 33 points last night for what it's worth. It's not a consistent effort, but I mean, he's been pretty good over the last couple of weeks, right? Like it's
Yeah, he's been solid.
yeah.
Yeah, the hard part is who does he replace in the lineup? Because like you said, the backcourt, I'm not sure if he's ready to actually be like the point guard of the present, where
I'm with
like
you there.
where we talk about what he does on the court. It's like it's not a lot of high pick and roll, throw an entry pass to Şengün. Like he's not quite there yet. I mean, just by evidence of he is starting because Jabari Smith broke his hand, and that everyone is like, oh yeah, throw him in there when he's back from suspension. So I do think that it's more of a Brooks or Smith conversation with Amin Thompson being the starter, and it's tough because
like the
both
3 to
of
4, right?
yeah, and both of them bring good defense and shooting, which I mean, it's the two best shooters in their starting lineup, and you're throwing in Amin, who, like we said, good at corner threes. That's about it. So I'm not sure they have what 4 to 6 weeks before they actually
right.
have to make a decision. 4 to 8 weeks before they actually have to make a decision.
More high praise for Amin Thompson last night. This came from Steven Adams, and hearing Steven Adams say this about Amin Thompson should perk your ears up a bit.
No, one of a kind, bro. I haven't played with anyone like this. His speed, his speed is just like unbelievable. And then just his second jump, first jump is so quick off the ground. It's crazy, bro. I actually haven't seen like that type of athleticism, to be honest.
I mean, he played with Russell Westbrook.
I know, and I mean, I hate to throw out like these crazy lofty comps, but like when you talk about like what does he remind me of, and maybe it's just because I was so inundated with it this weekend because it was Derrick Rose night, but like in terms of just like the athleticism, watching him play, like it reminds me a lot of a much bigger Derrick Rose. Just like it just didn't matter like what Derrick was doing on the court, like he was just so much faster and dynamic than everyone. It didn't matter if you sagged off him, like Ime was saying. Like he was gonna get his, and like that's what like Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook, like if that's what Amen Thompson can turn into. He doesn't even have to be the primary ball handler. Like he can be your 4 because he's just so athletic at the same time. He's so much bigger than those guys. It's really it's really incredible to see like how much he's developed already. Like Sean was saying, and like the idea of that, like there's still so much room for him to grow, and he's already got this great baseline. That's where you're right. He's the guy to build